Part 99. It's really surreal to say that out loud, you know. When I create these videos and I put the footage in my editing software and stuff, I have like a preset set up for certain things like the video thumbnails. And on that preset, it's got part 25 there. And I remember doing part 25 like it was just a few moments ago. But my God, that was like 3/4 of the full length of the series away. Part 99. Yeah, so continuing on. Obviously the big milestone, I guess, will actually be tomorrow. Here we are on Bract, about to do some pretty exciting stuff. We've seen, you know, Caraval, we've seen the Asura Gates, we've seen the cannons, we've seen the Blue Orb, power all of Fort Trinity up. There's still an area of Fort Trinity we've not really interacted with very much, though. We've seen the airship dock, did I say that already? And that's round down here, down this ramp. Wait, no, not down that ramp. Over here, down this ramp. Into the submarine bay below. You've actually seen me walking over this glass lot. Well, we're going to utilize that right here. So let's do a quick catch up with what's going on in the story. So from a victory or death, which I've described several times now as being broken into 3 separate acts, really. And we're at the end of Act 1 right now. Last episode, you saw us starve the mouth of Zaitan out of Ketamance in Starving the Beast. See here? I led a packed squad on a mission to destroy the ship and the couriers that bring magical objects to the mouth of Zaitan. Our intent was to cut off Zaitan's food supply by starving its mouth, but the mouth itself emerged and we were forced to kill it directly. So on yesterday's episode, I was talking about, you know, why that second part of the mission was justified, where we fight it and stuff. In the story journal, it suggests that it kind of was forced out and we were forced to kill it even though we didn't want to. The actual mission itself doesn't really support that with dialogue or whatever, but hey. I returned to Fort Trinity to meet with Chahern and to plan the pack's next move. So I met with Marshal Chahern and decided that our next step was to cut off the supply of dead bodies that Zaitan corrupts into soldiers for his army. So we cut off the artifacts for the mouth, and now we're going to do this. So our main successes so far is we're getting into ore. We've blinded Zaitan in a way, or like partly, by destroying an eye, a really senior minion. We've kind of cut off or closed one of its mouths. So there's that. There's an interesting side as well of this that I don't think Chahern's looked into, but that all those artifacts that we just intercepted, we can kind of pick up now and utilize and research. I wonder whether there's a contingent of Priory explorers that are doing exactly that. We're just not sort of privy to those details. And yeah, so now we want to really establish a base deep on ore. For most of the missions, obviously, we're actually traveling out and exploring. But on this one, you'll notice that my log tells me to speak to Captain Anjay at Fort Trinity's submarine dock. So I'm going to give you a bit of trivia now. The game's obviously a few years old, and it's gone through lots of different variations and revamps over the years. One particular big change to the personal story occurred several years back now that actually ended up deleting tons of missions from the game that were only re-implemented far later. Everything's here by the time I'm doing this show for you all, so we do get the full experience. But for a while, Guild Wars 2 players kind of missed a lot of stuff. While the game was in that weird, like, semi-broken state, many of these ore missions actually took you to this submarine dock, and most of your sorties and stuff out there was coming from here. Nowadays, though, this is one of the only missions remaining where you come to the submarine dock, first of all, to basically just be transported straight out. And I really like the flavor of it. Obviously, the point is that there's a fleet of ships filled with corpses out there. And if we look at the world map, we can guess that maybe they're out here in the Strait of Malcor. You know, I wouldn't expect too far south, though the lore does say that there's lots of bodies around the Ring of Fire here. But maybe, you know, a little bit further up north. And the idea is we're going to get on the submarine because we're actually going outside of regular maps. That's a cool thought. A little bit like what happened at Claw Island, right? But what the devs will actually sneakily do is they're still going to have us on Malcor's Leap. We're just meant to feel like we're out in the ocean. And that's why there's kind of this unique, special new opening on this mission. But yeah, it's a really cool area, the submarine dock. That door there actually can open and close, though we never see that they trigger that script as a part of the game. And yeah, you can see Captain Anjay. I think when we very first met Fort Trinity, way back when, I did show you this NPC. The time has come to get on. This is a cool mission as well, and in some ways quite a challenging one. Oh yeah, so just before we go in, I do want to talk a little bit about the build and some engineer changes. You know, we finished Necromancer off very recently, and I said, there you go, we finished Necro. I forgot we actually did fully finish Engie in a way. You know, you've seen all of their specializations. So I do just want to point out, this elixir here, the Throne ability for a little while was giving us loads of quickness. It's now changed to be a stun break and super speed. Okay, so you want to consider that. We still have HGH, which is the big elixir-oriented thing. And the other thing that's changed is this, this trait here, emergency elixir. So this was a for free elixir S. You see this skill here that I'm using, and we become invulnerable. Earlier, when Bract unlocked this, it meant that we cast one of those for free when we hit 50% health. The devs have actually changed that now, and for the better, okay? It's now a different feeling trait. Emergency elixir. Drink an elixir E. Not elixir S, elixir E when you are struck below the health threshold. So this triggers when we get below 33%, and you'll see here we automatically drink elixir E. Elixir E isn't available as a skill. It's only here on the trait. And elixir E gives us protection and barrier. So, like, kind of like a chunk of health. So, it feels a bit like a free Elixir S, except it's not invulnerability anymore. And if we're being hit really hard by risen soldiers, they might be able to break all the way through the emergency elixir's barrier, and they'll actually be able to hit us harder. So that was a change largely motivated by the PvP sides of the game, but is excellent, and I think is the correct way of doing things here. So Engineer kind of got a new elixir now. You know, you got Elixir B, you got Elixir S, you got Elixir X, blah, 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 Elixir R, and now there's Elixir E too, purely on this trait. So, yeah, I'm really, really happy with how 2017, 18, and now we're in 19 has gone with balance for the game, because they are rapidly putting it out more and more and more, and that's just kind of a part of Guild Wars, you know, seeing how things change as we continue playing. Anyway, so there you go, and that's why you'll see I get barrier and stuff as we play now. Hey, Ant J, I think we're prepared. What's going on? The sub is ready, Commander. Marshal Johan and the rest of the squad are already on board. As soon as you're ready, we'll take you to the Undead Ark. Okay, guys. I'm ready now. Let's go. We can brief our squad on the mission, it says. That's interesting. That's our next option, but I suppose we're going to walk right up and we're going to click a Grizzly Shipment. In we go. Look at this. We've actually seen this concept art before, but let's pretend it's new. And check it out. We're out in the ocean. The camera is really awesome here, like goes from the surface down. And here's the sub actually swimming along. We're on board. You never get an interior shot of one of these subs. I like the idea that they might do an expansion one day with the deep sea dragon or something where we do get to see the interiors. You get the cool animation of it opening though.
It's amazing how fast we traveled while completely submerged. Look how far we came. Now the hard work begins though.
That's right. I expect heavy resistance. But we need to push deep into the Ark's main hold. That's where Maver comes in.
I'm ready. I have plenty of Ascalonian Ghostfire. It'll spark a conflagration to consume the Ark and everything in it. Remarkable stuff, Ghostfire. It's unrelenting and it burns underwater. When we're done, there won't be any bodies left for Zaitan to reanimate. Hats off to the Char. They took their most implacable enemy's most dangerous weapon and made it their own, and then they gave it to us.
A demonstration that we need to work together to defeat Zaitan. Commander, it's your mission. Lead on.
This water tastes terrible. How does Zaitan spoil the whole ocean?
Okay, so we got a ton of things to talk about. First of all, can I just say, it's an interesting mission, this, in that they set up, do you want to attack the ossuary itself? Or do you want to, like, intercept? So you'd think that this is the sneakier route or whatever, and the more maybe lore-heavy route. But it turns out that if you do the ossuary at the Cathedral of Lissa, you actually kind of get more lore and stuff, and it's the more laid-back one, and it's not as adrenaline-filled. This one is all adrenaline, all action, crazy fire and explosions, and it's kind of fun the way that they twist that on their head. The other thing there is, yes, they've just introduced the conclusion of kind of a long-standing story here. Well, no, I don't think it should be the conclusion, actually, but they've embellished upon the Ghostfire stuff. So remember the Ghostball muskets and the developments we've seen throughout Char areas? Do you remember that hidden area in the Black Citadel with the elevator I showed you that I said, oh, maybe this was going to be a dungeon or something at some point? Everything we've seen about the Char, learning how to adapt against their ghost problem and the faux fire, well, we see it come here. Basically, Pact has got technology from the Char that allows them to use Ghostfire. That's what the Ascalonian faux fire ghosts have been striking with. It's really badass idea. We're going to use it against Zhaitan. And so you see how beautifully I think the writers start putting all these different separate areas of lore together in this massive assault to defeat this primal crazy thing known as an Elder Dragon. So yeah, we'll see some of that, and there's Ghostfire here. Also, if I swim slightly to the side, cool line there from one of the characters with us who said, how does Zhaitan make the water taste bad? That's a cool thought. Who is it that said that? It's Ikniu! It's Ikniu. So, I mean, this was so cool for me. As we all know, literally in yesterday's episode, Bract found Ikniu came back. Ikniu of the Hylek that we helped. He lost his home. His brother's head had been decapitated on the Bloodtide Coast. We saw him come back earlier. Well, in this mission, you get to see Ikniu again. That isn't true for every single one of the lesser races. Ikniu is a very rare example of one where that's worked. So Bract gets to see his old friend here again because he's made all these exact choices. So it's like this really cool cohesive story. The truth is it's worked out this way because I've done a lot of planning to this. But I think it's badass that we get to see him again here. He says, and you know, he's not just returning for a one-off little appearance to save us when we were fighting the Eye. He actually has more to say and do. He says, I can taste the Risen's pollution in this water. I just hope my brother Sabiti is watching us to see us avenge his corruption. Look at that! They're even referencing his brother, which countless different players and commanders, if they didn't do Hylek, wouldn't really know what was going on there. But we do, and I think that's great. And to that extent as well, he's not the only aquatic character with us here. Another one. Where are you? I saw you a second ago. Here, Baruch! So, foo! Quaggan bets there will be mines. Quaggan hates mines almost as much as Quaggan hates crates. Both kill indiscriminately. So Baruch is, unfortunately, not going to see Baruch's old friend. That's Casey Whitedale, who helped with the Dermot Priory way back when. Well, yeah, out in the Shiver Peak Mountains, Baruch returns here too. To me, honestly, this is like the Guild Wars equivalent of like some Avengers-style moment where these different storylines that you think are separate and exist in vacuums cross over. And the story doesn't do it anywhere near enough, but they do here, and it's so badass. Why? And by the way, these are the only two lesser races at this point. If you look at the Ossuary of Unquiet Dead, we don't see, say, Fatokchak helping out there. You know, the Skrit don't return for that mission on the terrestrial stuff. And I have to wonder why. Why is there, like, this disparity here? But hey, I kind of actually like when story threads are asynchronous anyway. But yeah, so I don't know whether it was an oversight or what. But yeah, so then we've got Maver. It's good to see you, Maver. I've got the Ghostfire charges prepared. As soon as we're in a position aboard the Ark, they're all yours. Understood. So yeah, and you got the sub here. You can actually sort of look in and look. They've done all this detail. There's even this door here with the thing. It's pretty badass. I mean, it is big enough that you could actually be on the inside, right? You know, it's not faked. But yeah, okay. So we've traveled really far. We're way out in the ocean here. And yeah, like I said, this is actually a part of Malkor's Leap, I'm pretty sure, and you can swim around here anyway. You can still see the ruins of ore and stuff there. We're gonna swim. Like, look at our mini-map. This is just so cool, isn't it? I love it. We're gonna swim all the way along. Hopefully not have to fight anything on our way, like these Risen Quaggan and Plague Bringers and stuff.
Crate sentries and mines. Stay alert. We can't afford to lose anyone on this mission.
Oh, I never actually spoke to you, Trahearn. What's going on?
Guide you.
Jesus Christ, by the way. Look at its Caladbolg. So there he's wielding Caladbolg on his back like a spear. Which is a crazy thought, that's actually like a fake Caladbolg that mechanically in the engine is a spear. I think that's what's going on there. The Ark is just ahead, but remember, this is Zhaitan's primary source of dead bodies. Once they realize we're here to sink it, his minions will defend it at all costs. Understood? So what is it? Just, wait, it ships corpses back here, right? To take to the ossuary and become abominations. So it's kind of docked, if you will. And they've got this lesser ship here next to it, which would, you know, be going backwards and forwards. The game these days would have all this stuff sailing and moving around all the time. I love this extensive minefield that he's set up, though. Right, okay, so this reminds me so much, by the way, any Stellaris fans out there of the Prothoran Scourge in that game and their little frontier outposts. Okay, so Underwater, we do a ton of damage because we get our grenades and we get our mines and we can augment ourselves with our elixirs and just have tons of boons and stuff. We'll take out the crate. Thing is, I don't want Brack to get one-shot by any of these mines, and I can't target them, so how exactly do we get past? Just have to be very careful. Now, if you look here, you'll see there is a gangplank that's penetrating into the water just ever so slightly, and we want to be at that point, so let's move over and just take it very slow and very easy. This is almost like, we're going to be on ships here, but it's almost like, well, you'll see. There's a lot of combat, let me just say. So, kill that guy. The Damos it was, I think. And there's a Nimros over here as well. Hearing Damos and Nimros and stuff just makes me think of Guild Wars 1 trait that could transform in body, and we don't really see them do that in Guild Wars too much. Even more patrolling. Do you think they're going to swim up after us? Yeah, I'm going to be really conservative and kill these two. Look at how intimidating and looming the depths are over there. Jesus. And think about this as well. How deep underwater would all this stuff be right now, and this terrain below us, before Zaitan raised it all, right? Like, that would be really friggin' low. Look at just how abyssal that pit goes. So, yeah, okay, one more Damos, and I think we've killed... Okay, there's even a Nimros over there. The devs actually populated a lot of crate around, I guess. Okay. So, gently now. Gently. And we're up. Okay, good. Oh, God, they're attacking us immediately. Like, truly, instantly. So, these guys have got possibly some blowouts and knockbacks. So, we want to be careful and get up. All right, the second we move up, the game throws some combat music on. Neighbor in her golem. This is so cool. So, she moves on with us, and we'll climb on up. We got some patrolling risen. Okay, the A-bomb is a big problem, so if that aggroes, I need to be careful and watch for it to attack us straight away. Wow, that pirate used a leap and hit us really hard. I suppose, in truth, as much damage as Brack does, his armor is still fairly low level. It's not like level 80. We're not all uniform level 80 gear. The only time you see my gear goes up a lot is if we're in a dungeon. Otherwise, it's all, you know, what we've been earning. And it will be a real game, okay, as this series goes along to actually get all the really good gear. And it'll be something you can follow along with and have fun with. But yeah, okay, so now let's kill this A-bomb. We're looking to try and get into the Ark's hold. I'm going to dodge that now. Okay, looks like we didn't actually need to. He's also blind now, so we don't have to be too scared for his next attack. There we go. Down you go, Mr. A-bomb. Okay, so we got a lot of choices of where to travel. Oh, Jesus, there's another one there. That's fine. Let's move down. Now, the Ark is actually quite a big, complicated area with lots of rooms. And you'll notice I'm on my own right now. I'm pretty sure that what has happened here is Traherne, Ichnew, Baruch, and co. have aggroed on some kind of creature lower down. And they've pathed and ran through this essentially labyrinth. Oh, here you go. Here's Ichnew. So we can follow Ichnew to very quickly figure out where to go. There's a lot of cool details, though. Like, look at all the bodies that are in here. These are all due to become abominations, I suppose. They're bodies that have been gathered. Oh, here you go. Everybody's fighting on this bit. So, you do have to be careful because there are a ton of enemies in the Ark. Mechanically, by the way, I do quite admire this instance, knowing that it's, you know, you've got A-bombs patrolling above, then you've got all these creatures on the inside and the rot mouths, and then lower down, you've got, like, the water and the crate and stuff patrolling outside. There's a lot of different types of enemies all sandwiched into a really small area. You kind of don't realize that as a player because all the walls and floors and ceilings block your field of view and your vision. But there is a lot going on. I kind of admire that. You know, and it's not just enemies either, but it's like all these random bodies everywhere. So this rot mouth did a lot of damage, and we want to be cautious of that. So stay there. Now that we're on the ship, do you think anybody updated their dialogue? Oh, they did, I think. Traherne says, interestingly here as well, look, you can still see the aqua breather over his mouth in the dialogue thing. We must set the Ghostfire charges at the bottom of the ship's hold in order to ensure complete destruction. Anything between here and there is a distraction. Mavis says, time to descend. The Ghostfire will work optimally if we ignite it at the bottom of the vessel. Right, so it's kind of a special kind of ghostly fire. Oh, Baruch. Baruch is so cool. I mean, he's not in his enraged form here. I feel like he should be. He was very shameless about that right now. Well, when we last saw him. It would be good to be in that form right now. Maybe that was the idea of the devs, but they forgot to do it. Quaggan thought the enemy would be more scared of Quaggan's... Yeah, no, he's even saying Quaggan's enraged form, but they don't seem to care. No matter, Quaggan can kill them faster if they don't run. Keep up Baruch. I mean, he's a scary Quaggan. If I'm going to have any Quaggan with me, I want Baruch in enraged form. Let's just pretend that that bug isn't there. Ha! I swore to kill 20 undead if each tear I shed for my brother. Before I am done, I will see Zaitan weep. Oh my god. These are some cool characters. Alright, so I guess we may have had two choices for how we go through the arc. There's probably a stairway on each end, maybe? But here we get to go down to the next floor. And so you'll see that it's actually flooded. The flooding is a really cool thing to talk about here on this mission as well. Because a limitation of the Guild Wars 2 engine is that every map has a water level, and they cannot actually mess with that water level, right? So what the devs, I'm guessing, probably want to do is have this be just regular ground and terrain down here. But because they can't carve out a chunk of regular, like, terrestrial combat and gameplay in below the water level of the map, because they cannot do that, instead they kind of have to settle for less where the ship's lower decks are flooded. So I think that probably disappointed them that they had to do it this way. But when you actually see it in game and play it, it actually adds kind of an interesting, weird, magical twist to the ship, where you realize the Risen likely don't care if this big ancient arc ship that's been traveling around for months or years or whatever, they probably don't care if it's semi-flooded, as long as the thing can still move around. So what if the lower decks over the years have taken a battering and drips have come in or whatever? The corpses will amble about anyway. Do you know what I mean? And so you kind of get this weird, like, ethereal, like, strange feel where it's like the vessel itself is undead too. Does that make sense? Does that sound a bit too contrived or ridiculous? But it's like the vessel itself is half kept alive in a weird, abominable state, strewn together. And you know, it presents them an interesting thing here. And look, and they play with it. They roll with it. You get the ships, the bodies here are now floating. And is this the hold? This is where all the bodies are? Each of these due to become an abomination? I would not want to fight them in that form.
This is the spot. The Ghostfire's ready when you are, Commander.
Okay, so Maeva wants to plant it all. Trahan's dialogue didn't update. So we're going to swim through here. By the way, a little cheat, a little thing I think you can do. Oh, no. Yeah, hold on. We'll speak to Maeva. She says, the Ghostfire charges are prepped and ready, Commander. We'll need 4 of them to do the job. I'm standing by to hand them over. So we can say we'll take one. Now, a little cheat for this instance. If you want, you can actually just wander off with this Ghostfire charge now. You can see it in my hand. Look at it. It looks like a mine. You can completely leave the ship and place them anywhere you like. Thus making the next phase of the instance even easier. But I'm going to do it properly. So we're going to place a charge here, I think. There you go. And you'll see it wears up for a second there. You get a little static thing, and then the ghostly faux fire effect is there as it spins away. That's cool. As an engineer, I'd love a skill that throws mines like that. We can obviously throw our own mines here, for example, like so. And you can throw them underwater, but ours look like this. I'd love one of those ones. Our big mine looks like that too. But yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, look, well, Bract will contribute in his own way here. Take another one so we can set another. I wonder as well if there was going to be, you know, design here where we had to place each charge in a specific place and for a specific reason. But now they just give us free reign. I kind of like the freedom to pick wherever I want to place them. We'll put number 3 here. This seems good. I mean, I don't really even know how the Ghostfire works. What's cool as well, by the way, about this being sunken, you'll notice these are fire mines and fire explosives charges. So what's going on? But it's Ghostfire, so it can work underwater. Oh, yeah. All right. Number 4. Oh, God, they're exploding already? Maeva?
Glitch. Pretty much faster than I expected. Our tests weren't done in water with this much salinity. It's accelerating the spectral combustion. We've lost control of the situation. Evacuate now.
Escape from the burning ark and let the whole thing goes up. Unfortunately, all our allies trigger their dialogue all at once. This is one of those moments where I'm tempted, again, like I did before, to data mine each string of audio in post and put it all in. But I actually wouldn't know where to hunt for this audio on this occasion. Though I'll still do it where possible. Alright, okay, so what we got? Okay, Abomination. And this guy's on fire now. Check it out. It just is regular burning. It's not ghost burning. Oh, God, that's really scary. I actually don't like the idea of him charging through all of my people. Oh, my God, we're actually getting hit pretty hard. Oh, dear. Yeah, it's probably quite important to clear the ship out as much as possible before setting it all on fire. I suppose they're easier to kill now because they are perma-burning.
Now, the perma burning Guild Wars 2 players these days know of as an intensity stacker. But back at launch, it wasn't an intensity stacker. So, you know, your sense of the game's mechanics and the looter narrative was that one stack of burning was impressive, you know, and you did appreciate it. Nowadays, one stack of burning isn't impressive because of how they changed it later and they didn't update. But, hey, if you guys follow what I'm saying, you'll get what I mean. So here, we need to get to the Ark's highest point. Oh, my God. We're not just bailing the ship. We're getting to its highest point. This is kind of bad. Let's drink our Elixir X. Here, and we turn into a rampage. And we can thrash and smash our way through. Remember, we get a chance to turn into a rampage. I'll throw a boulder at that guy back there. Yeah. Or we can turn into a tornado. A tornado would have been hilarious. Be a tornado charging through. I mean, I like the idea, actually, in that the winds could have blown away the Ghostfire a little bit, maybe. From our magical tornado. Maybe the rampage smothers them with the sheer force of its stomping. All right, so anyway, we come through. We've got to get to the Ark's highest point. There's a little bit of a jumping puzzle as a part of the mission here. So we're going to come inside this tower on the ship. And look, there's actually a staircase. So let's keep climbing. Why we don't just jump overboard, I can't quite remember. Everybody still coming here? Oh, they do have dialogue. This Ghostfire burns too well, if you ask me. We better get out while we can. Mavis says, something's faulty. The Ghostfire is burning much too quickly. We better proceed to the main deck or we'll be immolated. Baruch says, ooh, Quaggan can feel the heat from these flames. Quaggan can't stay here or Quaggan will melt. And Tran says, quickly now, to the main deck. We must get clear of the Ark before the Ghostfire consumes it completely. I'm on my way, don't worry. I took the second to talk to you when we had some safety.
Wait, did you hear that? Those are the spinning blades of a char chopper. Backup is coming.
Good, yes. Extract us. There you go. That's why we're at the highest point.
We saw those ghostly flames and came as fast as we could. Bit ahead of schedule, wasn't it?
A bit. Turns out Ghostfire works a little too well in these conditions. Thanks for the sharp eye and the quick save.
Yes, excellent work. We didn't just deprive Zaitan of a shipload of soldiers. We destroyed the ship itself.
That's right. This tub is done making deliveries to ore. The Dragon will just have to make do with its existing shamblers.
Congratulations. We need to get you out of here, fast. I'm aboard if you're coming.
After you, Commander. This success has me thinking. When we return, I wish to discuss a few other areas of the Pack's mission that could use your help.
That last line feels so generic there, like it could have been written to support any number of ideas of how we would structure missions in ore. But yeah, what a cool mission. Look at that. Look, we came in on sub, we got on a boat, and then by the end, you can see there's an airship and a packed chopper all together. We get on so many different kinds of vehicles there. It's amazing. The coolest thing ever. I remember when I was a kid getting well, not a kid at all, really. But there was this old, I think it was an Xbox original game.
Without saying, you're the one with the map. Let's get going.
Of course. Give me just a second to, there we go. Let's start right away.
It was an Xbox original game, a Futurama game, and it got me so into vehicles and stuff. And I don't know, playing this here in Guild Wars is making me think of that to some extent. So, solid grounds, sweet. Back at Fort Trinity, and that's the mission done. You'll notice that that mission is actually a bit quicker, so if you're trying to speed run the game, definitely go for that instead of Ossuary of Unquiet Dead, where there's a lot of dialogue and walking around with the ghosts and all of the patrolling knights and A-bombs and stuff. Hey, Captain Anche. We're fairly proud of our powerful fleet of submarines. Zaitan won't see these babies coming. They're amazing. Is it Char Engineering? We actually spoke to her about this already. So cool. All right, let's move up and find Traherne and discuss our next area of attack. By the way, interesting bit of trivia. In that cutscene, the Pact pilot who was leading the chopper, who said, all right, let's get aboard, and it kind of suggests maybe we know him to an extent. He's a named NPC, very specifically named, but actually only exists in that cutscene. I wonder if the devs had an idea to do more with him later in the story or earlier in the story. It's very rare for Guild Wars 2 to do a named NPC like that, but they're used only in a tiny, tiny little thing. Most of these NPCs appear all over the story. You know, once they're introduced, they come back again later. But Pilot Gavros, whoever he is, his fate as this war goes along, what he does next as his chopper, that's the only time we actually see the guy. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. So, we here are back in Malkor's Leap, and we've got to travel, of course, to Traherne's secret base below the ossuary now.
And yeah, seeing all the missions together, it really does feel like we've made so much progress here, right? And it's definitely a good time to trigger the next arc. So how about let's do that? Oh, one thing I did want to do was, here, you see that bridge over there, guys? All the way over there? I kind of wanted to show you that route across. Well, you see it here anyway. The wall back there, there's a hidden jumping puzzle. It's not too different from this camp, which it looks like some players have defended. So good job, everybody. I'll see you guys with Traherne in a sec.
Now we know Zaitan can feel fear as well as rage. Its time in Tyria is coming to an end.
Brave words. Now let's make them come true.
With the destruction of the Orion Armada, it greatly hurt Zaitan's access to new soldiers. This grotto makes a defensible command post. Only 2 ways in. This passage and the Seaway.
Speaking of the Seaway, that was actually a route I could have taken here, especially considering Brack's seen the Pyrite Peninsula across on the other side, right? So, but hey. Alright, our 3-pronged defensive could break this wall wide open for us. It's time to decide, Commander, where do you think you'll do the most good? Well, it's going to be obvious, isn't it? We like Dern, we like Whispers, we like boats. It's the triple whammy. We're going after Zaitan's navy. And I hope nobody's got a problem with that. Okay, cool. So, yeah, let's pick up, I don't know, this Commando's jacket, I guess. What do you think about that, Traherne? So many battle plans, so many lives at stake. This is the beginning of the end, either for Zaitan or the Pact. Fortunately, I have every faith in you. Okay, thank you. Dan, how do you feel? I'm glad you agreed with me. Without ships, Zaitan and his risen horde will be bottled up in ore. Right, so we eliminate every... So he can no longer create new stuff. We enlarge. We just sort of surround him on all sides with ships, and we can kind of just starve him out completely. I mean, he's a dragon. He could fly off, Dan. Have you thought about this? Though we don't really have an air support option here, do we? It seems. Count me in. Where do we start? Well, there's a squad standing by to help take you to Beacon Torch. Meet them near the lighthouse, and they'll provide whatever support you need. Right. So haunted, special, magic lighthouses. We're going to take control of one, and we're going to use it to wreck all the ships in the area. Great. Well, that sounds pretty good, and Bract will be on with that. All right. Well... Terex continuing along with his adventure here out at Fort Trinity. I kind of want to turn the headpiece off here. It's nice, but we've had a lot of caged-in helmety looks recently. There we go. Very nice. With our nice white peg leg, healed as much as it ever will. So yeah, Fort Trinity, of course, having just dealt with the Temple of the the Forgotten God. I was going to say sunken god there, but both are kind of true. Let's report back in with Traherne and tell him all about this mysterious eye and mouth we just saw. Okay, hold on. Tell me more about this direct attack. We flood the ice territory with scouts and soldiers. And as soon as we acquire reliable information about its location, we storm its position and kill it. I like the direct approach. Let's do it. Very good. I'll put together a squad and meet you north of the Blighted Battleground. I got some special allies waiting to join us. Very simple. Let's just get the job done as in the most straightforward way possible. And believe me, if anyone understands that, it's the Warbands and it's Tyrix. Who are these special allies, I wonder? I guess I'll see you all there. So, let's continue our story into Close the Eye. Now, you notice the entrance on this one does not take place in the swamp or whatever. We're actually right at the front of the Leshiate Gate, which is closed and the meta hasn't been pushed, and we're going to find our own way to break through and deal with this. Also, really interestingly, ooh, who are these special characters? Well, it's Lagula of the Lesser Races.
The eye, it sees me. It sees all. Save me.
Hey, Lagula, how's it going?
An ogre's pet shows her true strength.
It's been a while. I like killing these little squishy undead things. And when we're done here, I will shatter all the branded and the dragon that made them. Good plan, Lagula, but let's focus on Zaitan first. So there's no... between us, there's no particularly fond... oh, hi, buddy, it's been a while, or whatever. There's no dramatic, they're coming here to save our lives. It's just... hey, they're around, and I kind of get the impression that the ogres have been around consistently with the pack somehow. But yeah, we've got Slugger, we've got ogre hunters here, and they'll be helping us out. Looks like Tyrix's good deeds from earlier in the story are paying off for him, so that's nice.
I guess that's all. And yeah, Trahan, what have we got here? The gate just opened. That looked a bit ominous and cool.
We're ready to begin, Commander. Our scouts put the Eye of Zaitan just past this courtyard. I've arranged for some operatives to join the effort. Old friends of yours, I believe.
I see them.
It's good that you're here. You showed us that the dragons are a real threat. Now we can repay you for helping us.
We need to spread out and move quickly, but keep each other in sight. I don't want... Hang on. What is that Sylvari doing here?
You think you're ready to face the Eye? You have no idea, none! We're all doomed, all of us! No more, please! I've told you all I know! Now leave me alone!
So she's a mad prisoner sprinting off under the effects of insanity, driven beyond reason. I love it when you get a weird effect like that players don't necessarily get. Her voice actress is the same voice actress we heard way back in the Pale Tree ages ago that sounds like her microphone is somehow muffled a bit. But yeah, so she's running away. It actually reminds me of Oblivion voice acting in a really weird way as well. So we'll cleave these guys down. Good old meaty axe skills. Got our frenzy axe. What's on our weapon set right now? Oh yeah, longbow. I remember from when we did the North Assault. So let's pull this through. In fact, didn't we look at longbow literally just a second ago when we logged in? Cool. Oh no, the Whispers agent died. I'm sorry, Whispers agent. Up you get. Trahan as well. You got anything you really want to say to us? Not going to help us res here? Oh dear, there's even more coming. I guess we can't speak to him because he just got himself in combat here. There's villagers and chickens. Well, hold on. I don't want to go deep into ore here. I want to go up and find the Sylvari that was in trouble. They're just continually charging off. What are they doing now? Guys, relax. Relax. Killing chickens and stuff. Yeah, at least the Arcanist's got a good idea. Trahan, I don't know how long that raving Sylvari's been here, but she may know something useful. We should talk to her. So here's a cool thing. Remember, Sylvari can't be corrupted by dragon minions, right? We've known that for a long time. So if you're Zaitan and you get a Sylvari, it's kind of a weird thing in that it's like, what do you do with it? He just corrupts and expands and consumes magic, and then there's this thing that he can't interact with in any way. Well, if he wants its information, he can't just corrupt it. He's going to have to do something else, and it seems like this person may have been tortured somehow. Really grim, actually. You might think that you've got a good run of it if you're a Sylvari, right, in this war against Zaitan, that everything's hunky-dory and it's fine. But in truth, it could be the worst of all, because you're kind of left to linger, you know, and there's worse things than death, as they say, right? Anyway, hey, so she comes into this creepy-ass little room here behind all these spiders. Let's cleave these down here. Reminds me of a few missions in the game, actually, where someone runs away and you got to chase them through spiders. Hello.
Study the past. The Eye, it sees me. It sees into my mind, into my dream. There's no escape.
Be calm. We're here to help. We won't let the Eye anywhere near you.
But the Eye is everywhere. It goes where it will, when it will. It looks, Zaitan sees.
We can still save her. We can take her back to Fort Trinity as soon as our mission is complete.
Can we? She said Zaitan really weirdly there. Zaitan. Oh god, what was that? Sorry, I didn't hear it.
Think you're ready to face the Eye? You have no idea, none! We're all doomed, all of us.
She's now crippled and she's being escorted away. That's kind of cool. So what, can we just walk further through? Is there an exit on the other side here? Oh, no, there's actually spud. Oh, I see. There are actually two entrances to her. Interesting. Well, I kind of want to res all these guys up. I don't want anybody to be hurt. So what, this villager just cleaved through everyone? Let's deal with this. So looking at the minimap, it looks like if we stay inside the complex, we might be able to get to it quite comfortably. Let's see. This is a cool room. Look at the chest here. They should have put some loot or something in here. The old rotted glass. This is weird. This is like one of the coolest senses that I'm actually in an old Orient building I've had from this environment. Look how badass this is. All right. Well, anyway, that's clearly not where anyone went. Trahan didn't just charge on ahead, did he? Let me look back here. There's a downstate body all the way over there. Here we go. Trahan, man, Lagula, what are you guys doing? Are you not coming? Hello? Another vile act Zaitan will answer for. It couldn't corrupt her, so it drove her mad. I pray the Mother Tree can help this poor wretch. There is hope, but right now we've got a mission, and you're not on it. Lagula, are you coming?
Do you have any pets?
But I like how labyrinthine ore is in this little area right behind the Lashit gate.
So yeah, let's cleave these out, res up. The kind of structure of the city here reminds me a bit of Thunderhead Keep in Guild Wars 1, weirdly. Alright, we've just unlocked the Wayward Way discovered. The Wayward Way. Is that a pun of some kind, it seems? We do have a POI here, right down in the corner. I wonder if this is where the mission is trying to take us. Well, actually, no, because the starburst is up there. This is just called the Conservatory. Oh, I remember this. This is actually like an ancient melangerie kind of place, but it's just destroyed. This is really beautiful. Look at the sense of, like, there's still some greenery around trying to cling to this area of the world. It's all just overgrown and ruined now. I can imagine they probably had some really good concept art inspiring a location like that, but we've never really seen the devs release such concept art. Okay, so that's that. Climbing down here, though, and then moving north. We've got a couple more we can res. A few chickens and farmers to kill. Look how cute the chickens are when they move. Look at this. Look at this animation. Go on, chicken, move. Oh, they're kind of creepy, though. Those ogres literally just squished that chicken back there, and it played the grossest sound effect. As opposed to ogres would... to be honest, of all the lesser races, I really like the ogres. I think they're the biggest, most powerful, interesting of them. And they tame pets, so it's like a 2-for-1 deal, right? Not that we really see many around here. Okay, we've done a lot of reviving and helping out there. Here, the gate. Can we go through, please? Teryx? Yes? No? Is Traherne meant to come to this and open it for us? And it's bugged because he's at the start of the instance. Do we walk around maybe by coming in this direction? Look, they're still dying to Risen. How did that guy just die? What are you guys doing? Yeah, I don't know. I may have bugged this mission somehow because... Oh, here we go. Go on, Traherne. This is crazy. Here, look, everybody's moved into position. He's just going so slow. Yeah, welcome. You realized that you might want to come to the gate, didn't you? And you've just slowly wandered all the way over here. Come on, keep coming. No, don't stop. I know I just spoke to you, but please don't stop. Come on. Oh, no. I shouldn't have spoken to him, should I? Go, Traherne. Go. I give you swiftness. Do we have a warhorn? That's not going to help, is it?
I'm pleased you're here.
Yeah, I'm pleased you're here as well. Now come to the gate. There we go. So, hilariously, because this mission bugged, look at this footage here. You could just instantly find the Sylvari and speak to her super quick.
Locked tight. We'll need a key. The risen seneschal of this town would have it. You have to retrieve the key before we can proceed.
Oh, so maybe it messed up because I was too exhaustive in my exploration and I went to the conservatory early. I see how it goes. Well, look, Teryx feels so weighty and awesome and, like, tanky as well at the same time. As a warrior, we get so much health, heavy armor. I'm actually just going to wander past the Orions here, especially since we already killed them, and see if I can be a hero and snipe the boss down. Here we go. So, Risen Seneschal Ilam. Reminds me a bit of Elim Garrick. So, yeah, let's cleave this guy down. Cool name as well. Always like to hear the Orion's names. Oh, he does a lot of damage too. Okay. Gonna be kind of careful here. We can obviously use a fear to save ourselves if necessary. There we go. Eviscerate. Yeah. Oh, it didn't crit. Still, pretty good. Okay, take the Seneschal's key stuff. Well, Seneschal, that's a word that should be in my vocabulary. What does that mean again? I can't remember. Okay, so, oh, I remember this part. So, basically, at this moment in the story step, we get 3 skills on this staff that are really rare abilities. You basically never see anywhere in Guild Wars. And they're so strange. You can find the equivalent very rarely, I think sometimes in this area of Ore in the open world. But check it out. So you get 3 skills. One of them is called Grave Digger. Now, when we get to the expansions, you're going to find that unlocks as a skill for the Necromancer class. And I will spoil no further than that. But it's actually here on this weapon, bizarrely, from Core Tyria, Gravedigger. And the description and everything of it pretty much matches what it will be for Necros later. Perform a huge swing that deals heavy damage, and damage is increased against low health or downed foes. So when the Necromancer gets this skill, instead it instantly recharges. But look at this. If we hit a target below 50% health, that does 2,558 damage baseline. That is way more damage than even an Eviscerate. It's huge.
It's unbelievable. And it's a whirl, and it can hit 5 targets. It's a crazy ability. I wish you could get these staffs more. But the devs never really lit them around the game much, and you find them here. Here's another one, Soul Link. This doesn't become a Necro skill yet, maybe. Hey, who knows? Shoot a beam at your foe, inflicting vulnerability and gain a life force. That one's not so interesting. We'll see it, though. And then lastly, Grasping Darkness. Conjure claws of darkness from the shadows to attack foes, applying conditions to them and pulling them to you. Gain life force for each foe struck. Now, we're warriors, so we don't actually get life force, but this is basically a necromancer in the elite specialization skill as well. In the expansion, sorry, skill as well. But it has a range of 750 and it's slightly different. So here, look. We can pull him in. We can use the beam. Look at that necrotic beam there. And then here we get the Gravedigger here. Which, you know, he's still above 50% health, so we have to wait a second. Let's use another one. And you'll notice I'm getting adrenaline from this, so I can actually still eviscerate. Which is kind of cool. Here, he's below half now, so now when I do it... Oh, look at the blow up. I did pop some might on myself and stuff there. But how awesome is that? It would be so cool if this was actually giving me adrenaline when it was reading life force. That would be amazing, but I don't think that's actually what's happening here. So, yeah, just a really, really cool... And this is the key stuff. You can actually attack people with it, which is, you know, what's fascinating about it. There, we never crit, so we never killed him. But, yeah, amazing skills. And you'd be surprised what you can find in the weird areas of the game. Such as this. And maybe hints for stuff we'll find up in the future. So, yeah. All right, climbing down. Who died here? Just 2 ogre sluggers. I'm sure they'll be fine. We'll clear the area out. We got soldiers in the area, guys. It's fine. I'll note as well that to any Guild Wars 1 Nightfall fans, those skill icons we've got there are Nightfall Guild Wars 1 abilities for the Dervish class. Dervish isn't a profession in Guild Wars 2, but you get the icons here, and those icons likewise do reappear with the Necro Elite Specialization later, so especially that number 2 for one of their traits. I'm getting ahead of myself a bit, but this is some amazing, weird trivia, and I love it. Johan, here, I got the key. Can we open this?
Of course, the gate is also sealed magically. This will take time. Protect me while I work. Watch those tentacles up on the ridge. They're gonna slam us hard.
So this is his spell here. That's a cool animation there as well. Wait, tentacles are slamming? Oh my god, we're actually taking a lot of damage here. Maybe I should war banner and res some people. Maybe I should equip my greatsword as well. That would be kind of a good idea. So we're being sieged now. Everyone's being sieged, and we're getting waves of risen at us. We just got to defend Trahearne while he opens the gate. Now, of course, you'll remember that the open world version of this has the gate. You just kill a boss in front of this and open the gate. I've actually shown you that already.
This door will be a challenge. Keep the enemy at bay while I figure out how to open it.
But here in the mission, we've got obviously a much cooler version. Yeah, I'm keeping the enemy at bay. We're rezzing. We're fine. I mean, having some ogre allies would have been nice, to be honest, at this point. But I think we'll be able to get through. I wonder if Johan says anything interesting while trying to open the door. Shall we see? Oh, I just got in combat, so that's slowing up my reviving. Ah, no, in the other wave. Hold on. Let's speak to Johan now, then.
Well,
I'm sure the eye is waiting on the other side of this gate. Protect me while I figure out how to open it. There you go. He does have a little bit. Always rewarding. Let's go back to longbow. Create a fire field. What I could have done is do the fire field first and then the arcing arrow second, and we would have blasted in the field and given ourselves might. But hey, it's not too bad. We got tons of might because we're using for great justice still here.
not much longer now.
All right, I hope so, Trahearne. Oh, there they are. I see they're up towards the conservatory. Oh my god, they actually are launching full-on fishes at us. Okay, these guys are down again. It's fine. We'll revive them all later. We'll get a medic in and deal with things. If this was Guild Wars 1, we'd be able to click him and see him, like, charging up a skill or something. That'd be kind of interesting. But, you know, they made a deliberate decision to move away from that in the sequel, so that people weren't looking at the UI and they were looking at the game instead. It's still a decision I very much agree with, for what it's worth. Some people have started questioning that. I saw a sincere recommendation on the forums the other day that the devs should let us see cast bars again, but that just feels so antithetical to what Guild Wars 2 is, you know. All right, I believe you. This is a pretty short instance, actually.
We're in. Now to face the eye.
I will not lose.
Here we go. So we got the eye. Oh my god, did he just slaughter a ton of people? And there's a bit more emotional impact on the eye this time, I think, probably because we know that he's caused someone to suffer so much. So in we go. We'll pop our signet. He has a break bar. Let's try and break it. And this time, of course, actually, I think he's a lot more intimidating and dangerous this time around, actually.
You dare attack me? Zaitan will consume you
Oh, will he now? Well, we will see. Get a really good, actually, quite convincing boss fight here. So a T3 combustive shot there.
Another morsel.
Oh, come on. Give it a rest. Another morsel, my ass. Actually,
Now I shall teach you.
he has a lot of allies. Oh, God. There we go. Down you go. And here we actually break deeper into ore as well. That's really kind of cool to see that at this story beat.
Well done, Commander. Now we have something for the researchers back at Fort Trinity to study. This Eye's corpse should tell us more about Zaitan's servants and how he communicates with them.
Then the risk was worth the reward. If we learn how Zaitan controls his minions, we can disrupt that control to our advantage.
Let's take it back to Fort Trinity. And that poor woman, too. She needs all the help we can provide.
Brilliant. Okay, so let's grab ourselves... Oh, a sword. I haven't used a sword for a while. Let's pick one of those. We haven't used maces for a while either. Mace off hand being pretty cool. Yeah, let's clean this last preserver up that managed to survive. What does everyone have to say? Particularly Trahearne, I want to know what your story is at the end of the instance here. This is as hospitable as all gets, Commander, and most of it is much worse. I'm glad you're here to help me face it, and we'll stay until the mission is complete. Did you just used to wander around here? Are these paths familiar to you, Trahearne? Well, we'll get the medics in, we'll res everyone up, and look at that creepy-ass eye down there. Let's do our research.
All readings are within acceptable parameters. Subject is stable, it's working.
Confirmed. The projector beam is now ready for firing. Commander, if you'll do the honors.
Oh, that was no earthquake. That was Zaitan's roar. We made a dragon mad enough to throw a tantrum. Must be hungry, the poor little lizard.
Good. Now he knows we mean business. Nice work on that door, by the way. Who knew your hard head doubled as a battering ram?
Hats off to the Char. They took their most implacable enemy's most dangerous weapon and made it their own, and then they gave it to us.
We saw those ghostly flames and came as fast as we could. Bit ahead of schedule, wasn't it? A bit. Turns out Ghostfire works a little too well in these conditions. Thanks for the sharp eye and the quick save.
Full offensive, sir. We've cut away Zaitan's supports. Now's our chance to attack the main force, while they're still reeling.
They say the Pact is getting a shipment of war machines from the High Legions.
War machines? Like catapults?
Legion tanks make catapults look like toys.
Well, Tyrix, is there a /ponder? I don't actually know. Yeah, there is a ponder. Oh, we should have been doing this the whole way through the series. Well, Tyrix, which do you want to go for? Which of the three plans? Well, this does sound pretty interesting. What did you just say, Crusader Folks? We have a chance to show Zaitan and his rotting meat puppets how dangerous Char war machines can be. Interested? Sounds fun was the plan. Well, Trahearne wants to send an armored column straight into the heart of Ore, and the Gear Warband is standing by. They do overwhelming force like nobody else. I cannot think of a better choice for a Char character to follow the Vigil right here at the end of the story. In a weird way as well, by the way, for any of you guys playing with me, playing this storyline with Sylvari is a really cool choice too. One of the best things you can do in Guild Wars is make a Sylvari who joins the Vigil. Once more, into the breach we go. There's a time for subtly, and this is not it. We need to send our strongest artillery to Ore and to drive it right down Zaitan's throat. Have we got any artillery? Absolutely. A whole column of Char tanks. So, Trahearne, who's waiting back at the entrance again. My God, Trahearne. That's the plan.
Most undead are relatively mindless.
I'm going to take these tanks straight into the heart of Ore. Cool. He doesn't even really respond to us. He's just like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea to me.
Hail treat.
So many battle plans, so many lives at stake. Let's see what Afut thinks of what we just did. Nice to see a packed officer who appreciates the value of Char engineering. Nobody builds war wagons like our belligerent friends in the Black Citadel. That's me. Look at the way I stare down at her from high on up there. Looking forward to it. Where do we begin? Well, we'll offload the tanks at Shelter's Docks. A unique unit called the Pale Reavers will meet you nearby and help you clear the landing site. Good luck, Commander. Pale Reavers. It's an interesting turn. I wonder who is in that. So there you have it, guys. 3 plans, 3 NPCs. We're going to be starting off tomorrow on episode 100 with the Vigil's attempts to send a column of Char tanks into the heart of Ore. By the end of the next episode, we'll be in the final map of the game, and I cannot wait. Cheers, guys. I'll see you there.